Hello, my name is Trenton Howell, and today I will be demonstrating how to replace a keyboard and screen on an N22 Lenovo Chromebook. We use these Chromebooks for our school's computers. They're provided by the school, and I'm an assistant to our tech aide, so I have to repair a lot of them. So for the keyboard, you just take these 10 screws out of the bottom. And this might take a minute. It helps a lot to have a magnetic screwdriver, because sometimes they decide to work and then you can pull the screws out without actually having to like tip the Chromebook over and dump them all out and lose them, because that's happened before. But at this point we have an entire tub full of these screws, so losing them is not the biggest priority. Alright, once all 10 screws are out, you flip the Chromebook over, open it up, and you should just be able to use your metal spudger to pry it off, essentially. And the goal is to not tear or break anything while doing this. I'm actually going to shut this off while I'm doing this, so that it doesn't short out when I unplug anything. You're almost there. And we always pry from this top portion of the keyboard, because the cables that connect the keyboard to the computer are actually on the bottom, and we don't want to tear those. So once you get it unclipped, you'll see these two ribbon cables here. This one connects the trackpad, and this one connects to the actual keyboard and keys itself. And a lot of times with a keyboard where the keys just are not responding, we will just unplug this ribbon cable, or if the trackpad's not responding, we'll unplug this ribbon cable and just plug them back in, because sometimes they get jostled loose from dropping or just wear and tear on the computer, and just unplugging and plugging them back in will fix that. But in this case, we actually have a broken key, so we will need to replace the entire keyboard. So you just take it and plug it back in. Clip that back down, and I won't actually screw all 10 screws back in, but I would like to just put this back together to show that it does in fact turn on. So really, once you take everything apart, and then you just do all the steps in reverse, and you should be able to put it back together. Just clip it all back in, press the power button, and it's dead, so it doesn't want to turn on. Alright, moving on, we are going to replace the screen on this one, because unfortunately I don't have a Chromebook that needs both repaired at this time. So this one should be able to turn on once we get it replaced. So you just have to pry off these little rubber tabs that cover the screws. and then turn it off. Once all the metal or rubber tabs are pulled off, you just unscrew these screws, and similarly to the keyboard, all you have to do is clip the cover off to get to the inner components of the computer. So next you take your smudger and you just pry this off, this little plate that goes around it. And then once we get to the bottom, there is a bit of adhesive that holds it to the screen, which is not always the most fun thing to try to take off without breaking. But since the screen is already broken, we don't really have to worry about that. Pop it off there. Should be able to pull it off. All right, once it's off, we have 4 screws to just take the screen itself off. And these Chromebooks are actually a fairly simple repair. I also do iPhones and stuff, and the screws are a lot smaller and a lot harder to keep arranged. But this is a very, I would consider, entry-level repair for technology. All right, once all 4 are out, you can see we can just take the screen itself off, flip it over, and you've got your little cable that connects the screen to the motherboard. And now we just have to pull this cable out without hopefully breaking it. All right. And these are usually taped together, which is somewhat annoying when trying to take them apart. There we go. All right, next we just install the new screen, plug it in and set it back down where the other one was. Pry this off. Put that cable back where it belongs. And plug everything back in, or screw everything back in. All right, once all 4 screws are back in place, we can put this little plate back on. And it just snaps into place just like the keyboard. And then, without putting all the screws back in because it takes too much time, you should be able to turn this on. Just like that. And that, my friends, is how to repair a screen and keyboard on a Lenovo Chromebook.